In a world full of distraction and noise, it's easy for a man to lose himself. Especially when it comes to women, many find themselves acting out of impulse, desperation, or insecurity rather than reason, strength, and virtue. A Stoic man does not live this way. He does not seek validation through others. He knows that chasing approval only distances him from his own truth. When a man constantly looks to a woman for affirmation, whether through compliments, attention, or even affection, he places his sense of self outside of himself. That is a recipe for anxiety, dependence, and eventual disappointment. Instead, the Stoic cultivates his own worth in silence. He does not shout to be noticed. He builds. He improves. He reflects. And if someone sees value in that, good. If not, he continues anyway. His value is not up for negotiation. It's not just validation he avoids, it's emotional chaos. He does not let his feelings rule him. While others erupt in anger, sink in jealousy, or react with desperation, the Stoic remains steady. He acknowledges emotion but does not become it. He may feel disappointment, but he does not lash out. He may feel love, but he does not lose himself in it. His responses are deliberate, not automatic. When conflict arises, he breathes. When provoked, he listens before he speaks. He understands that most battles are not worth fighting, and many words are better left unsaid. His silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. Above all, he remembers his mission. The Stoic man never forgets why he wakes up each morning. His goals, his principles, his discipline, these are his North Star. He does not sacrifice these things just to win someone's affection. A woman should enhance his purpose, not replace it. If she demands he abandon his path to earn her love, she is not for him. No matter how tempting, he stays loyal to his purpose. Because without it, he is lost. And with that purpose comes confidence. A quiet, unshakable confidence that allows him to give others freedom. He does not try to control anyone, least of all a woman. He knows that the more you try to grip something out of fear, the faster it slips away. Control is insecurity in disguise. Instead, he trusts that what is meant to stay will stay. What leaves, he releases with peace. There is no room in his life for manipulation, mind games, or possessiveness. He sets clear boundaries, communicates honestly, and accepts the outcome, even if it's painful. Because real strength is not found in keeping people close. It's found in being okay when they go. And through it all, he remains true to himself. The world may try to shape him. Expectations may push him to conform, to act, to entertain, to be agreeable. But he resists. He doesn't pretend to enjoy what he doesn't. He doesn't nod along just to avoid conflict. He would rather be alone with integrity than surrounded in pretense. The Stoic man speaks his truth with kindness. He listens, but he does not compromise his values. And in doing so, he becomes rare. Because in a world full of actors, the honest man stands out, not loudly, but clearly. To live like this is not easy. It requires self-awareness, restraint, and constant reflection. But it's worth it. Because the reward is peace. Inner peace. The kind that can't be shaken by rejection, loneliness, or chaos. The kind that no one can take away. In relationships, the Stoic man loves, but he does not cling. He commits, but he does not lose himself. He gives, but never at the expense of his own soul. And when heartbreak comes, and it will, he grieves, but he does not collapse. He learns. He reflects. He grows stronger. He does not escape the pain, he moves through it. Because pain is not his enemy, attachment is. And he knows that with every loss, there is also a gain. Wisdom, clarity, freedom. Every moment is an opportunity for virtue. Every interaction a chance to practice patience, honesty, and respect. He understands that love is not about control or possession. It's about understanding, choice, and alignment. The Stoic man does not fear solitude. He embraces it. In the quiet, he meets himself. In the stillness, he becomes unbreakable. So when the world tells him to chase, to impress, to be more entertaining, more emotional, more agreeable, he declines. Not out of rebellion, but out of principle. He has chosen a different path, one of strength, depth, and quiet resilience. And that makes all the difference. The Stoic man knows that connection with others, especially with women, is a part of life, not the purpose of it. He does not avoid love, but he does not depend on it to feel complete. He understands that the deepest connection begins with the self. Until a man knows who he is, any relationship he enters will only reflect his confusion, not his clarity. So he does the inner work. He sits with his fears, his insecurities, and his past. He does not numb them or run from them. He observes them, learns from them, letting go of illusions, layer by layer. The world has conditioned men to believe that strength lies in domination, or in emotional suppression, or in external success. But Stoic strength is quieter. It's not about conquering others, it's about mastering the self. That means knowing when to walk away, when to let go, when to remain silent, and when to speak with conviction, no matter who disagrees. He doesn't argue for validation. He doesn't debate to prove superiority. He speaks only when necessary, and when he does, it's with clarity, not ego. Because he's not interested in being right, he's interested in being aligned with truth. When a woman enters his life, he welcomes her with openness, not desperation. He listens. He respects. He values who she is, not for how she makes him feel, but for the character she brings. If it aligns with his values, he builds with her. If it doesn't, he lets her go without bitterness. You see, detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means loving without clinging, giving without expectation, and walking away when the energy is no longer mutual, without needing to blame or hate. He does not stalk the past. He does not reopen closed doors. If a woman leaves, he lets her go with grace. Not because he doesn't care, but because he does. He cares enough not to beg, not to diminish himself for someone else's return. He trusts the flow of life more than the illusion of control. Pain will come, yes, but so will growth. Each disappointment is not an end, but a sharpening of his wisdom. He does not drown in heartbreak. He rises with more clarity, more focus, more presence. And he never forgets, the way a man handles women is a reflection of how he handles himself. If he manipulates, it's because he feels powerless. If he pleads, it's because he's disconnected from his worth. If he lies, it's because he's afraid of being truly seen. But the Stoic man is not afraid to be seen. He welcomes transparency. He lives in alignment with his words. His integrity is not for show, it is the foundation of his being. Whether anyone notices or not is irrelevant. In private, he disciplines himself. In public, he moves with calm and certainty. He trains not just his body, but his mind. He reads. He reflects. He writes. He corrects himself when he slips, not with shame, but with humility. Because the goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. And slowly, the world around him begins to respond. Not with applause, but with respect. Not with attraction, but with admiration. Because when a man holds his center, people feel it even in silence. The Stoic does not chase 1,000 women. He seeks depth with one or none. Because he values quality over quantity, connection over attention, peace over drama. And when he does love, he does so completely, but not blindly. He loves from fullness, not from lack. He gives without losing. He supports without controlling. And if that love is returned, he builds with honor and clarity. If not, he walks away without resentment. He is not afraid to be alone. Because in solitude, he meets his highest self. The self that cannot be seduced by flattery, swayed by emotion, or broken by rejection. The self that knows who he is, why he's here, and where he's going. In every moment, especially in his relationships, he practices presence. He listens without interrupting, speaks without posturing, and acts without expectation. Because the Stoic path is not about being passive, it's about being conscious. Not every woman will understand this kind of man. Some will misread his calm as coldness. Others will mistake his independence for disinterest. But he does not rush to explain. He does not shrink to be understood. He allows his presence to speak, and those meant to walk with him will feel it without words. He knows peace is more valuable than being liked. Freedom is more valuable than comfort. And discipline is more valuable than fleeting pleasure. So he keeps walking, silent, strong, grounded, unshaken by drama, undistracted by chaos, unmoved by shallow praise or temporary affection. He is not heartless. He simply lives by a deeper rhythm, a rhythm rooted in reason, a rhythm guided by virtue, a rhythm that cannot be broken by any woman, because it was not built by one. It was built by him. And as he walks this path, he finds that fewer things bother him. What once triggered him no longer does. What once made him feel insecure now only teaches him about himself. And what once felt like rejection now feels like redirection. He no longer asks, "Why did she leave?" Instead, he asks, "What did this reveal about me?" He no longer asks, "How do I get her back?" Instead, he asks, "How do I return to my highest self?" That is the way of the Stoic. To use every setback, every loss, every moment of confusion, not as a reason to collapse, but as fuel for becoming. Because nothing that happens to him can truly harm him. Only his reaction to it has that power. He knows this. No woman, no person, no situation is worth abandoning himself for. So he doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He doesn't perform. He shows up as he is, honest, grounded, disciplined. And he lets others decide how they wish to respond to that. If they respond with respect, he welcomes them. If they respond with games, manipulation, or confusion, he steps back without complaint. That's not arrogance. That's clarity. Because clarity is the Stoic man's compass. He would rather be alone in truth than surrounded in illusion. He would rather be misunderstood for his boundaries than liked for his submission. And he would rather be respected by a few than loved for a mask. He is not afraid to walk alone, because he is never truly alone. He walks with virtue, with wisdom, with stillness. He carries the voices of Seneca, Epictetus, Aurelius, not as ancient relics, but as living truths within him. So when the storms come, and they will, he does not panic. When the affection fades, and it might, he does not collapse. When he is tested, doubted, or left, he does not become bitter. Because he has already accepted that life is not here to please him. It is here to refine him. He does not expect a woman to save him, complete him, or validate him. She may walk beside him, but she is not his foundation. He builds that himself. Every day. Brick by brick. Thought by thought. Action by action. And when love does come, when it's true, when it's mutual, when it's real, he welcomes it. Not with neediness, but with gratitude. Not as a lifeline, but as a complement to an already full life. He gives, but does not overextend. He trusts, but does not ignore what he sees. He commits, but does not lose himself. This is the paradox of the Stoic man. He feels deeply, but is not ruled by emotion. He loves openly, but can walk away when necessary. He is soft in heart, but unshakable in spirit. And that's rare, because it's not taught. It's cultivated. In a world that rewards noise, he chooses silence. In a world obsessed with image, he builds substance. In a world chasing validation, he masters solitude. And when people ask him, "How are you so calm?" he smiles, not because life is easy, but because he no longer resists what he cannot control. That is the heart of Stoicism. To let go of outcomes. To accept reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. To respond, not react. To lead, not manipulate. To love, but never at the cost of your soul. The Stoic man doesn't just avoid weakness, he embodies strength. Not the loud, aggressive strength that needs to be seen, but the quiet, unshakable strength that only those with depth will ever notice. He knows that who he is when no one is watching is who he truly is. And so, he lives accordingly. No shortcuts, no performances, no pretending, just presence, purpose, and peace. And so, he lives his life not in pursuit of applause, but in alignment with virtue. Because at the end of the day, the Stoic man knows there will be no scoreboard, no final relationship that defines his worth, no trophy handed out for how many people loved him, only the quiet truth. Did he live with honor? Did he act with integrity? Did he stay loyal to his principles, even when it was hard, even when it was lonely, even when the world offered easier paths? That's what defines him, not the outcomes, but the choices. And when he lies down at night, alone with his thoughts, he sleeps well. Not because everything is perfect, but because he did not betray himself today. That's the quiet reward of the Stoic path. No drama, no regret, no chaos, just the calm satisfaction of a man who walked in truth. And maybe, just maybe, that's the kind of man the world truly needs. Not another charmer, not another follower, but a man who cannot be moved because he already knows where he stands. If you found value in this reflection, consider sharing it with someone who might need the reminder. Stay grounded, stay clear, and above all, stay true. Until next time.